Welcome back to the deep dive. Today we're taking on a really profound philosophical concept, Sunnat Allah.
Hmm.
And you should think of it less as a purely religious idea and maybe more as the ultimate design blueprint for existence, the divine system of universal law.
That's a great way to put it, actually.
Mm.
The sources we're digging into today are, they're intellectually rigorous. They really demand that we approach this with reason, with contemplation.
Right.
Sunnat Allah, which you can translate as the system of God or the way of God, is really this core idea that the Creator runs the entire cosmos through a consistent, absolute, and really non-violable set of
Okay.
laws.
And these laws govern everything.
Literally every element of reality.
So our mission today is to try and explore the architecture of this system. We're looking at a perspective that makes the universe, well, utterly dependable.
Yes, and that's a radical shift.
A huge shift away from expecting or, even wanting some kind of unpredictable divine intervention.
And towards appreciating the wisdom that's just baked into the consistency itself.
If the universe is reliable, then we have to be accountable.
Precisely. If you can really grasp the implications of a perfect, dependable system, it changes everything. How we act, how we do science, how we even define justice. It's the ultimate statement of reliability.
Okay, so let's start with that design itself. What actually makes up this system? The sources seem to establish one bedrock truth. These divine laws do not change.
They don't. They reflect the Creator's wisdom and absolute justice. They're not arbitrary at all. They're the deepest expression of purpose.
And the material breaks it down into categories to make it easier to grasp.
It does. 3 interlocking categories. And we start with the one that's most obvious to our senses, the natural laws.
The actual mechanics of the universe.
Exactly. The physical realities we all know, gravity, thermodynamics, the behavior of energy, the speed of light, they are universal. They are eternal within the cosmos.
And the order we see is the proof.
It's the primary evidence. The sources point to the clockwork regularity of the planets and stars. There's that verse. And the sun runs on its fixed course for a term appointed. That's not just poetry. That is a beautiful way to put it. These laws, communicated through divine guidance, they emphasize justice, compassion, righteousness. But, and this is critical, this is where the concept of Sunnat Allah becomes so transformative.
Okay.
We have to realize that these moral laws are just as consistent as gravity.
Wow. That is a significant claim. We get that if you ignore a natural law, there's a predictable physical consequence. You fall. A chemical reaction fails.
Right.
Are you saying that if we ignore ethical laws, the consequence is just as inevitable, just on a social or moral level?
Precisely. If you ignore gravity, the physical structure collapses. If you ignore justice and compassion, the social structure collapses. The consistency is identical. The laws are woven into the fabric of reality itself.
I see.
There's some poetry in the source material that just connects this so beautifully. There's the design and command stanza that goes, vast cosmos is set, stars aligned by sovereign will, all atoms obey.
That's that physical precision.
Exactly. But then you have the compassion and trace stanza, which assures us that this whole system is imbued with mercy, with Rama, not some kind of cold indifference. It says, compassion does flow. In every breath, we find his trace. Mercy wraps the world.
So the structure is fixed, but its nature is mercy.
Its underlying nature is wisdom and mercy.
Okay, so if the cosmos is running on this highly structured, fixed operating system, we have to talk about the most radical idea here, the place of miracles.
The cornerstone of the rationalist view.
The rejection of supernatural intervention.
Yes, and this is the crux of the argument. It's a fundamental assertion of the Creator's absolute perfection.
Explain that.
Well, think of it like a perfect piece of software. Impossibly complex, but perfect. If the system is flawless, the designer never, ever needs to go back in and suspend the code or violate it because of some bug or an unexpected error.
So needing a miracle in that traditional sense of breaking a law
would imply a defect in the original design.
That's a staggering implication. It completely reframes divine power away from arbitrary force and towards ultimate unchanging wisdom.
It does. And it forces us to be really careful in how we distinguish between what the sources call a sign, an ayat, and what we might call a miracle.
The Quran points to the natural world as the signs.
Constantly. The tides, the rain, the orbiting planets, those are the ayat, the signs of the Creator.
But what about all those stories that are, historically taken as literal supernatural events? The sources seem to be suggesting they're often metaphorical.
Or symbolic narratives meant to teach a moral truth. Yes. And to interpret them literally would actually contradict the Quran's own consistent emphasis on cosmic reliability.
That's the key analytical step then. Insisting on the literal undermines the whole principle of Sunnat Allah.
It does. So if an event happens that seems anomalous or just highly improbable, we have to apply this principle of convergence.
Okay, let's unpack convergence. This is where it gets really fascinating. Instead of a law being broken,
The laws converge.
you're saying the laws are so numerous and complex that they can intersect, they can combine in a specific, rare instance to achieve a preordained outcome.
That's it exactly. Imagine 1,000 different physical, biological, atmospheric laws, all operating perfectly. And because they were all set in motion so precisely, they converge at one specific moment to create an event that looks impossible. It was actually entirely accounted for within the system's own rules.
The system was never suspended.
It was fulfilling its design potential.
So instead of the creator stepping outside the system, he built a system so infinitely complex it can produce these extraordinary results internally. That consistency, that guarantee of reliability, that is the true miracle.
It is. That's the real miracle. And this consistency assures us that the environment we live in, this mortal dimension, which the sources call fani, is absolutely dependable.
Right?
If the laws of physics or ethics could be just randomly suspended,
Yeah.
scientific inquiry would be pointless. And moral accountability, impossible. We are guaranteed a reliable stage for our free will.
Which means our ability to reason, to predict, to plan, it's all validated by the divine system itself.
It gives our existence here meaning. The commands are enacted through this consistency. And the mercy, the Rama, it isn't some emergency patch. It's woven into the very fabric of the law's operation.
So if the laws are fixed, non-violable, and they guarantee reliability, the next logical question is, well, how does this system allow for any change, for dynamism, for growth?
A great question. And the sources address this by integrating the idea of evolution.
Which is often seen as a challenge to creation.
But here, it's seen as the supreme evidence of the Creator's wisdom. I mean, creating a system that is fixed yet also adaptable, that shows far greater power than creating one that's just rigid and static.
So evolution isn't chaos or some randomness happening outside the system's rules?
No, not at all. It's the physical and biological laws functioning precisely as they were designed, allowing life to adapt and optimize. It's the resilience of the biological laws in action.
And does this apply to us too?
It applies equally to humanity through what you could call intellectual evolution.
Our drive to seek knowledge, to improve our societies, our science, that's part of the plan.
Absolutely. We are encouraged to reflect, to seek deeper understanding. The sources remind us the physical world is there to serve as a resource for this growth. And he has subjected to you whatever is in the heavens and whatever is on the earth. The search for knowledge is itself a divine imperative.
That synthesis of fixed law and inherent flow is captured so well in the poetry again, that Law and Evolution stanza.
Yes.
No breaks in the laws, his true wonders show and flow, system is complete, life does evolve fast, adapting with inherent grace. It confirms that flexibility is built on an unwavering foundation.
It creates a fully comprehensive, stable view of reality. And the mechanism ensuring that perfect balance between fixed law and dynamic flow is the principle of Nizam. Measure and balance.
Izan. It's a term we hear a lot, but in this context, it has a cosmic weight to it.
It really does. Mizan is universal harmony. It means that all forces, all components, from the quantum level up to the largest galaxy, are set in perfect equilibrium. The stability of the universe is the direct, observable result of this precise balance.
It's structural perfection.
It is.
And if the whole cosmos operates under this rigorous balance, then that same principle becomes the standard for our own conduct. It's the transition to our accountability.
It has to be. The justice and balance stanza captures this perfectly. Justice holds the scale. Mercy balances the rigid law. Through time it withstands. If we're part of this system, we are compelled to replicate its precision.
And that brings us to our core responsibility then, the covenant of accountability. We've established the external world operates under Mizan. So the sources are saying the consistency out there demands an equal precision in our internal and social worlds.
That is the ultimate conclusion, yes. Our primary job is to replicate that universal balance by implementing social and moral justice, which is Adol.
So Adol is the practical side of it.
It's the practical manifestation of aligning our lives with the divine system.
Which means obedience, in this kind of high-level framework, isn't primarily defined by, say, emotional fervor or just rote ritual.
Not primarily. No. While those can be expressions of faith, the key takeaway is that true commitment is this covenant of accountability. It's defined by the practical application of reason, of justice and compassion, all within this dependable framework.
Consistency in virtue is the human parallel to the universe's consistency in law.
Exactly. Our moral structure has to be as reliable as the physical one. It's a profound call for intellectual and moral rigor.
And it roots the spiritual journey not in chasing the extraordinary, but in revering the consistent, rational order of it all.
Precisely. The system itself is the object of praise because of its reliable design. It's an order that makes moral choice meaningful. Just listen to the reverence in that final stanza, submission and praise. Let the great song ring, humbly sing of laws established, praise the Maker's plan.
It's a celebration of the design, not of
A
intervention.
celebration of the plan.
So as we wrap up this deep dive, the core insight seems crystal clear. The Creator's work is manifested not in the extraordinary, but in the rational, consistent, and utterly reliable framework of Sunnat Allah.
hmm
And this system guarantees a stable environment that's necessary for both scientific progress and our own moral development.
It gives us a world we can actually trust. And if you accept that premise,
Yeah.
that the entire cosmos operates with this non-violable rational consistency, this universal balance, this mizan, then you're left with one single potent question to take with you.
What's the question we should be mulling over?
Well, if the universe maintains its perfect balance, its mizan, across trillions of years, what internal violation of law, what persistent, deliberate, personal inconsistency must you identify and address to truly bring your own moral actions, your adl, into alignment with this vast, dependable universal system?
A profound challenge to contemplate. Thank you for guiding us through the philosophical depth and systematic wisdom in these sources. We hope you feel better equipped to understand the design that truly underlies everything.